feel like, let me ask you this. How did sales change your life? And how has it changed your life? Like, did you realize how much it would change your life when you started it?
No clue. So while I was in college, dude, no clue at all. When I was in college, I've always been a hustler. Like I had 2 jobs throughout high school. When I was wrestling, right? I only had 1 job during the season, but if I wasn't in wrestling season, I was working 2 jobs. Worked all throughout college. I was working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. I actually had a salary operational leadership job while I was in college. So I was managing 175 people while I was 20 years old. So that was huge, right? And I stayed with that company. The reason that I ended up transitioning out is I started to just have these light bulb moments of when I would go in, is this all I'm ever going to do? Like I didn't actually agree with the delivery that the company was producing. I liked the company, great people, great leadership, but what they were actually delivering it didn't fire me up. So I had a friend that was getting into tech sales, and she said, hey, listen, it's going to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. You get a percentage of the revenue. And that was the first time that I ever even heard of getting paid for the actual production that you're doing. Like I don't come from that world. I didn't even know anything about it. So I took the leap of faith. I gave it a shot. Completely life-changing. Like I can't even express, man. I was able to go, I was making like 50, 60 grand a year working as an operational leader, busting my ass 50, 60 hours a week, to hundreds of thousands of dollars just overnight. I literally tripled my pay within 1 year.
That's huge. Respect, by the way.
Huge respect. Yeah. Amazing.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Very hard to fucking do.
Well, the toughest part, and this is the reason that most people don't get into sales, is because you have to have that risk. So I also took a $25,000 pay cut when I was taking the job in the hope that I was going to make up for it in commission. So I was going from 50, 60 grand a year, depending on bonuses, down to a $35,000 base. Yeah. And I was like, well, I hope I make up for it with my work ethic. I hope I figured out. And it actually came to the point, the company that I was working for, they don't pay you in commission for the first few months you work there. It's called like a ramp up period. A lot of bigger companies do this. So you ramp up and then they pay you on the 4th month. So all of this stuff, while I was selling at a really high level very quickly, most people in the role, they don't get their first deal until 6 to 9 months. Like it's a complex sales process. I had 3 deals by my 2nd month. Wow. Like I was crushing, but I wasn't getting paid for it yet. So I actually got to the point, I don't think I actually ever shared this with anyone. I got to the point that on my 4th month where I was about to get my check, no one ever even explained how I got paid for my commission. So I was kind of just selling, and I was focusing on that. I got to the point where I literally had to crack my piggy bank open because the income that I was making was not enough to sustain the new apartment that I was in, the lifestyle that I was living. I literally came down to cracking open my piggy bank. I got $400 in that little piggy bank, and that was it. That was all that I had left. And at that point, it was either apply for a new job or make this work. And at that time, it was just like the luck of the moment. There was something with me at that point in time where I got like a $30,000 paycheck right there. Right after I cracked open the piggy bank, right when I was about to start applying for 2 jobs, for a 2nd job, cracked open the piggy bank and got a $30,000 commission check because all of the work that I was doing finally paid.
There's something in the power
that's huge
of like, I've seen this so many times. It's almost like gravity. Like it's like a law, I think, at this point. I literally think that when you put yourself up against, like, your back against the wall and you have literally nothing other than plan A. Plan B is referred to plan A. Like when you I've seen it so many times where like you have no other option. Literally you will end up on the streets. Like that's when it happens. I've seen it so many times. I can't explain it.
It was a funny part too, because all of the revenue that I already created, the commission check was coming. I didn't know it was coming because no one explained to me how I was getting paid. So I was coming to the point where I was like, well, shit, I guess I go to apply for another job. And then I just got the biggest individual check that I've ever had. But that little gap of 1 to 2 weeks, it really put me in that stressful time where I really needed to take control of my life. And then I was able to take that same energy, that same feeling that I had, and put that into more activity, which just compounded the success.
First of all, that's a really good job. That's awesome. And because it's so hard, it's so not hard. Well, it is hard for young men to increase their revenue. It is. And whoever says it's not hard to do it. It's easy when you're the right person. But I'm sure that there's a lot of like self development that had to go into, you know, becoming the person to, like, for a lot of people that don't know, because I've only worked a few sales jobs, but and there's a lot of sales involved in my company too, and you have to understand that, like, with sales, it's like paramount that you understand, like, the entire point of what you're doing is you're creating a valuable offer for somebody that's why they're going to buy it.